Yeah, we are now. Welcome to Game Day Review. Got my man Frank Sides. I'm Morgan Smith. Off camera, we got Brandon Loris, Bobby Neal. We're going to bring some cool stuff to you from Game Day Review coming here soon. But I want to start today with, do you think Alabama is done being the team? Are we done with Alabama's reign at the top of college football?
Not done, but we are done.
Are we done hating Alabama?
We're done. I mean, no one should have hated Alabama to begin with. That's kind of all they got down there, but still.
I just get tired of seeing them all the time.
Me too. But yeah, you're probably right. They're done.
I don't think so, because LSU's not going to be as good as they were last year. I mean, they lost Joe Burrow. That was the only reason they were as good as they were last year. So, and that was the only reason Alabama got beat, for one. I mean,
Alabama lost
still gonna get
2 games last year.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the
players.
point, Brandon, is the blueprint's out now, right?
Yeah, Alabama lost 3 games, right?
Yeah. The
They're still
blueprint's
going to get
out
their
now.
top players. They're going to still be a top 5 team ever for the next few years.
I mean,
Yeah.
Can they beat Clemson? No. I don't think they can.
Not this year. Not with Trevor Lawrence still there for sure.
Oh, speaking of Trevor Lawrence.
Uh-oh.
Sunshine.
Speaking of Trevor Lawrence.
What did I start?
Brandon, does Trevor Lawrence need to play football next year at Clemson?
I say yes. And the only reason I say that is because he's still got to stay in football shape. He can't just work out off-site and be in football shape for the next football season.
He's risking millions of dollars. He's already going to be the number 1 pick.
He is.
Does he need to? No.
No, I don't think he needs to. I would strongly advise him to not play football this next year.
Right.
I mean, if I were him, and I'm a little out there, I would take this opportunity to make a statement for everybody else, right? Like, hey, it's time for us to be compensated for this, right?
Why is 2 years not good enough anyway? Why do they have to play 3? I understand he has to be a certain age, but it shouldn't matter. If you play 2 years, you should be able to.
I think the NFL protects college football.
Yeah.
The NBA, I think they hurt it more than anything, but the NBA gives them a year there to let college make a little money off of them. Right. But I really do think the NFL just protects college football, because I'm with the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good enough, you need to be playing professionally.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I understand probably for NFL teams specifically, they probably want to see them mature a little bit, because the NFL is much more violent than the NBA. But
I don't think
I like Trevor Lawrence has no business playing college football this next year.
Yeah, and it's not like it's football shape. He's a quarterback. What do you think he's doing? Like,
but
hitting
it kind of
people?
comes
No,
back on him because he wasn't redshirted, because like what'd they say? I think that he's the same age as Lamar Jackson. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. No, he's because of his age and he didn't redshirt. There's a reason he's playing 3 years. If he'd have redshirted and not played the first year, he'd have played just 2 years and went on to the NFL. But that's kind of him. He was too good, so he had to play coming in.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more apparent, when a high school athlete or basketball player is ready for the NBA versus in football. There's not necessarily anyone you see as a freshman that goes and makes an immediate impact on a team like a straight out of, high school player for basketball. Football, their bodies get a lot more bulkier, and I think they need that time to be able to, get ready for those bigger men.
Just to put it, to shorten it up, like, he ain't gonna make any more money by playing this year than he would if he sat it out.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even risk
not
it.
the game.
No matter what kind of insurance policy the school can offer him, there's literally nothing to gain. There's nothing to gain. And I mean, we're just to that point in the sports world where there's too much money at stake for him to do something. I mean, I'm sure he's going to play because he's, how's he going to tell Dabo no?
Yeah.
But in perfect world, he does not need to be playing this year. It's like there's too much to lose.
If he's not playing because of injuries can happen in the blink of an eye, though. So I think the argument of, he might get injured in the season.
I can tell you he has a lot less risk of getting injured not playing football than he does if he plays football.
That's true. But, he might have a JPP incident. He may be celebrating 4th of July, and the next thing you know, you're sitting out the next season. Firework accident.
No one's ever taken my knees out on a treadmill. I just know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. There's just no reason for him to play, in my opinion.
No, I agree, but he does need to stay in football shape.
Hey, do y'all think the Rockets can win the NBA championship this year?
Yeah, 100%.
Why?
When they're on, and no one can really hang with them. They just have to, be more consistent with, their 3-point shooting, the small ball that they're playing. No one can match up with that if they're on. If they're having a bad night, Russell Westbrook's been off because he doesn't have a 3-point shot. Now that the lane's wide open, it's him 1v1 to the basket every time. And we've seen this past week, he's and pretty much unstoppable.
They've taken away his 3-point shot too, which is good.
Yeah.
He is only supposed to drive.
They were up 3-2 on the Warriors when they had Durant.
I didn't think him and Harden were like there's just wasn't enough shots to go around between the two of them. Man, they were two of the biggest ball hogs in NBA history.
Somehow
and to put them on the same team, I mean, it's not going to work long term. There's just no way. But I don't think the Rockets are a better team right now than they were last year.
Yeah, I don't think they can win a title.
Yeah, I mean, how did they beat Milwaukee?
Well, that's the thing. Like
Milwaukee has to get there lucky. First of all.
They aren't going to see the defense now that they see in the playoffs.
Right.
You just simply can't. You can't bring the amount of intensity to defend that team on a random Wednesday night in April, right? You just can't.
We'll let you get your twos and we'll get our threes.
LeBron's going to be checking Harden, and he's not going to let up the whole game, and he gets a day off between every basketball game. No,
yeah, but you got to think.
I doubt they make it out of
the Lakers are starting a skyscraper squad. We're starting a lot of people who can run up and down the court. I would take the Rockets over that.
I mean, that's the thing. It's the 6-7
absolute best case.
I would love to see the Rockets Clippers in round one. I would love to see
series.
that.
I don't think they get lucky enough to beat the Lakers.
What if they're off? What if they're off 2 games in a row?
The series is over. It's
it's over.
No, they're not getting out of the second round.
Yeah, I mean,
that's okay.
I think it's been proven over and over again that offense is not going to win an NBA championship.
You know, that's
in my opinion.
Right.
Unless you have 4 All-Stars.
I think the stats show it.
Unless you have 4 All-Stars.
I mean, unless you have cheat codes, but you know.
I think the refs should be more consistent as far as not change up their calls. They're basically saying that they're
speaking of refs.
Why would you be more lax in the regular season? Don't you want a more consistent play out of the players? And the only way to do that is to have more consistent calls.
Speaking of refs and officials, I witnessed the worst officiating I've ever seen in my life. You were there.
I was there
last Friday, Bobby. Oh my Lord, it was so bad, so bad. This Atlanta versus Tatum game, I've never seen anything like it. It was the worst officiating I've ever seen in my life. Can you even explain how bad it was?
Like the third referee, I'm starting to wonder if he'd ever even seen a basketball game, much less been on the court.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of Atlanta games this year, and I've never seen Damian come close to fouling out. So
there was a specific play. When I try to explain to someone how bad it is, I use this as a reference. Atlanta's holding the basketball. Tatum calls a timeout, which they can't do. And then after the timeout, they give the ball to Tatum. And Atlanta was holding the basketball to begin with. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that did happen. He's not making that.
Some of the fouls, I mean.
Of the 5 fouls that Collins committed, you could probably watch the game back and give him 2.
Yeah.
But the other 3 were over the back calls. He's 6'11". You know what I mean? Every single rebound he collects is over somebody's back, whether it goes straight up or not.
He got the Shaq effect the other night. They would not call a foul against it. They would not call a foul on someone else who's playing against him because he's so much taller and bigger. And on the defensive end, they would call a foul on him literally for nothing just because he's so much bigger than everybody else. I mean, my dad was there too, and we talked about how bad it was. That was the first time I've ever seen a team lose a game because of officiating. I hear it all the time. Oh, the refs cheated. We've all heard it. But I'm telling you, I'm not saying they cheated. I'm just telling you it was the worst officiated game ever. And if they played Tatum 100 more times, they can't beat Tatum.
Is it the same officiating crew we've been used to over the?
No, I've never seen them before.
And with that being said, this one particular night, Tatum did enough to have the game close enough that the officials could impact it. They knocked down timely threes. I bet they shot 45% from the three-point line that night. And on top of that, had a couple, I think I remember a last-second bank 3 from half court going down.
Man,
it was just an odd night all the way around. Yeah. So they weren't a bad basketball team. They were athletic. They were bigger than we thought.
Just had some assistance.
Yeah. They kept the game close enough that Damian Collins fouling out changed the course of the
Yeah, well, I mean, they were down. Atlanta was down 10 at one point, and they were getting outplayed at that point. It had nothing to do with
this isn't a bad basketball team. Yeah, stretch
they were hitting. I mean, this team was hitting threes. Then it clicked. Atlanta went up by 11 or something like that, and then it was like they were hammering down on Atlanta. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, I'm being dead serious. It was a horrible experience. I felt so bad for the kids. I felt bad for Coach Boston, everybody involved in that situation. I mean, I know there's nothing you can do about it, and you hear people talk about refs, but I'm telling you right now, that game was decided by the officiating crew.
Well, I'm excited for the start of next season then, because they should come out with that much more drive and kind of like a redemption.
I hate it for like a Hunter Allen, a senior.
That's true,
he, all those kids. I mean, they had a legitimate chance at going to the state championship, and it was just robbed from them. And Tatum's not going to the state championship. I can promise you that. Just a perfect storm of soccer officials reffing basketball that night. I guess. I don't know what else to call it. Hey, Jason Peters out of Queen City, plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. I cannot believe the Eagles are doing this, but they're going to let him test the free agency market. I hate this, man. When players get kind of late in their careers, these teams are just like, you know what? Show some loyalty. You know what I mean? Like, who are you going to replace Jason Peters with? You can't replace him. You can go younger, but they're not.
No one, hopefully, right?
Yeah,
they're probably making room.
I mean, but how about you say, oh, it's business, but who are they going to replace Jason Peters with?
Now, maybe
Carson Wentz is already in a bind. The last thing you want is Jason Peters not guarding his blind side.
Yeah,
I
mean, I'm just telling you.
They're trying to vamp up that defense. I heard they're going strong after Byron Jones, which I know the Cowboys can't pay everybody, but that's a position that we need as well on the defensive end as cornerbacks. And if they are able to squeeze him in and get a stouter, defense, I think that'll help Wentz out in the long run.
That's the thing in the NFC East, man. Just stack your offense. Nobody plays.
I was about to say we probably need to cross that bridge after we've addressed quarterback and wide receiver, and that's.
He's already been offered $33 million a year, and he turned it down. What do you think about that?
Do what now?
He's already been offered $33 million a year, and he turned it down. What do you think about that?
Jason Peters,
Dak.
The Cowboys have no urgency there. Yeah. Like we've got him for 2 years with tags. Quit worrying about it.
I would say that's about right for him. $33 million a year.
I think.
Why does he think he's?
I think at this point he's waiting on this Mahomes contract.
Yeah,
which is smart because he has 2 years. Like
Mahomes just came out and said he's hungry for more championships, so he knows he's not going to be able to get that giant piece of the pie if he wants to keep going.
If he wants it, he'll get it.
Yeah, but he wants some championships more. He knows what it's going to take.
He's going to make money elsewhere.
That's right. He's got that catch-up deal.
That's so dumb.
He ain't going nowhere.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Hey, Bengals franchise tagged AJ Green.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, let him go.
Joe Burrow told him to.
Joe Burrow told him to?
He did. He said something. He had like a side note. He said, you'd start with the franchise tag and AJ Green if you want me to.
Joe Burrow's not making decisions for the Bengals. Well, I can promise you that.
Hey, if they want him to make
they really can't let AJ walk. I mean, you're saying let him walk, but why?
Well, he hasn't played in 3 years.
Man.
Well,
hey, if Josh Gordon can continue to come back to the NFL, AJ Green's fine.
I think mainly you can't. Obviously, it's out there that Bengals are going with Joe Burrow. Number one, you can't get this quarterback and not have any type of weapons for him already. A.J. Green has been injured over the years, but just having them there as a presence and as leadership, I think is going to help Joe in the long run.
Who wins more games, Bengals or Browns?
Browns by 3.
If they get Burrow, Bengals. Yeah. Browns are just a mess. Since it didn't work last year, I don't think it's going to work this year. It's not going to be any different this year.
They fired the GM. Yeah, Dorsey
fired everybody.
The Bengals need so much help on defense. I don't think it doesn't matter who they get for Joe Burrow. That defense is giving up.
I don't think the Bengals can.
The offensive line's an absolute disaster. I mean, bad in Cincinnati. So it doesn't matter what else is going on around.
The whole team.
Yeah, they got a long way to go.
Yeah. You think about Phillip Rivers to the Colts? It looks like it's going to be either him or Teddy Bridgewater.
It makes some sense. They're set up to win a Super Bowl as we speak. All they need is a quarterback.
You think they can win a Super Bowl?
The defense is awesome. The offensive line is awesome. They've got weapons. They're stacked. All they're missing is a quarterback.
I've heard they're putting together a trade package.
They probably win a Super Bowl this year.
They're putting a trade package in for Khalil Mack.
They need to get Tom so he can.
I don't know how they could possibly get him, but what is it? This is one of the best defenders of all times, and it's like nobody wants him.
Yeah.
Like, what is the deal?
I don't know.
Don't know. I think he's got a tendency to take plays off occasionally, and
According to the stats, he had a down year last year, but that's because he drew so much attention and gave everyone else opportunities. And when you look at their stats, they improve. So people don't take that into account. They just see his sack numbers falling, but don't see that.
You're not getting a package for him that you want after giving him that contract. You just aren't.
Yeah,
the dude's making a ton of money.
Hey, I forgot to bring this up earlier. McLeod won the other night. They're going to be playing in McKinney against Munster. See who goes to the state championship. We're actually going to be there. We're going to the state tournament next week. If this coronavirus thing doesn't shut it down. What was that you sent me yesterday? Do you read it?
Yeah. There's some concerns that there's a case or two down there that they're just take some extra precaution. But down there, wash your hands a little bit.
They're gonna have a bunch of
Wear masks.
some sanitation stations everywhere.
I'm gonna have a Texas.
You know, anything made in China doesn't last long, so we should be all right.
When do those arrive? By the way, didn't you order like 1,000 Texarkana Gameday?
You can't. What, man? Let me tell you, I do some work for medical in the medical industry, and you can't buy them things anywhere. Everybody's out of them. It's nuts right now. So they're still going to have the tournament though, or the state tournament.
Yes,
okay, all right. Because I'm going to be in the house for it, even if they aren't.
Extra precautions.
If they aren't going to have it, don't tell Jennifer because we're still going to go.
All right.
But hey, that's going to be. But the last time I've been to the state tournament, I was a kid. My dad took me. I watched Longview win a state championship with Bobby Taylor and David Wesley. It was a great time. It's the first. Man, it's probably been 20 years. Probably more than 20 years since.
Way more than 20 years.
Yeah, like 93 or something. Damn, it's almost 30 years.
Yeah, way more than 20.
Who's the best college football team in Texas right now?
Right now.
Got to be the Aggies, I think.
That's who. I mean, I've tried. Like, I want to make an argument for Texas, but I don't think I can.
I mean,
No.
I would say after last year, Baylor, but they lost their coach. So, I mean, they only lost a
I
handful.
think Baylor was the best team in Texas.
Last year they only lost
Pretty
a couple
clear they
games.
were, yeah.
They had a good defense.
They were the
last year.
luckiest football team in the nation last year.
Regardless, they only lost like 2 games.
Yeah.
One game, maybe.
At this moment, I think it's A&M.
Yeah.
It pains me to
Are
say
you only
that.
saying that because they're an SEC team, though?
I'm saying that because they're better than
They
the
weren't
They had a
really
lot-
great
their
last year.
recruiting class is legit.
They really weren't that great last year.
Well, I mean, their recruiting class coming in is. I mean, they have like a bunch of number 1 players at their position coming. Like I think like 7 to 10 of them.
If Baylor plays their schedule, they lose more than 2 games, I promise.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good point.
Probably
Very good
6.
point.
I don't
Enemy
disagree
bowl
with that.
eligible.
To
I don't
flip
disagree with
sides
that.
here, we can go right over the state line. Will Arkansas be the best team in the state next year?
No.
I'm not sure. I don't even know who
Yeah,
the other college
UCA,
teams are.
they beat the
I
team.
don't know about
that's-
UCA, but
Yeah, I mean, if I had to bet, I probably wouldn't bet on Arkansas to beat Pleasant Grove.
Arkansas. I mean, when I first moved to Texarkana, I'm telling you, I didn't realize how big of. I'd never met an Arkansas Razorback fan. It is on another level. Like, and you can't argue with an Arkansas fan about anything. Like every year they're going to win the SEC, and it's like you can't really believe that, do you? Do you really
Do
really
they
believe
believe
that? I mean, it's nuts. I've never seen anything like it. These
times worse
these
than
fans are
Cowboys.
so loyal. But the thing is, Cowboys have talent that you
Yeah.
can make an argument. Arkansas does not.
Has Arkansas
And
ever
they're
won
not
a
gonna
national
get it.
championship?
They're not going to get it.
Have
They
they
won
ever-
like 69, I think.
Back when they wore like leather hats.
Back
Yeah.
when Jerry Jones was on that line.
Oh,
But
Lord.
it's like they're loyal,
Very.
very loyal. I'll say that. And you can't argue with them about anything. I mean, it's just. But in their defense, I mean, they're in a weird recruiting area.
Yeah.
The state's best recruits don't even go to Arkansas. You
Yeah,
go to
no,
Arkansas if you want to play immediately, or you're not going to get to go to one of these bigger ones, in my opinion.
I can't even remember the
They're in the
last
wrong
good
conference.
Arkansas team. I think that big dude Matt Jones was their quarterback. They beat Texas and Austin like probably 10 years ago. That was the last time they were halfway decent.
No,
I remember
it was
Felix
less
and
than
Barron.
that.
Like
'cause
McFadden and
William
Jones
had
were there.
2 ranked teams. He had 2
Yeah, I think
years.
they
of-
were
I
top
remember.
5.
I don't know what year this was. Arkansas came out ranked top 5 in the nation, or something like that. So I was excited. Alabama was coming to University of Arkansas to play, and I was going with some buddies. We had tickets, and I was really excited. It's first Arkansas game. By the way, the tradition at the University of Arkansas is amazing. It's a really good atmosphere. But the week before, they lose to like Louisiana Monroe or something.
Yeah.
So I go watch this Alabama game. It's storming. I mean, we're sitting in the rain. It's miserable. And it looked like a bunch of grown men playing against a Little League football team. I mean, they scored like 50 points and a half on them.
Mm.
And the people I went with were huge Razorback fans, so they would not leave. So
Yeah,
I
they were
sat
coming back.
in the rain and watched a bunch of grown men play kids.
I'll tell you what the problem is.
Oh, God. He said he's going to tell us what the problem is at Arkansas.
They're in the wrong conference. They should have never went
Oh,
to the
gosh.
SEC.
There's too much
they were in
money.
the
There's
Big
too much
12, they
money
could
in them
compete.
to leave.
Do what?
There's too much money for them in the SEC. They're never leaving the SEC.
So you don't think that if they went to another conference and won, they would not make more
I don't
money?
think they'd win in the
People
Big
say
12.
that, oh, you stay in the SEC, you're going to make, just because you're in the SEC, you make money. How about if you go to a conference and win, like Clemson? Don't you think Clemson makes more money than Arkansas does? Don't you think that because they win, they're in a winning program?
I don't think if you brought Arkansas to the Big 12, they'd be competitive.
Yeah, they would.
Go
No, they
I
would
think
not.
They would. And I'm a
That-
big fan.
that's an offensive league, and Arkansas has no offense.
They will.
With win how? Who's the
it'll still
quarterback
be a
next year?
rebuild.
Who's the running back? They're not, Brandon. They are not going to be good at football.
They actually have a running quarterback coming in next year. They played at the end of the year last year. That was pretty good.
Just to clarify,
So,
the
Let me guess. He went to
Razorbacks.
Arkansas
So you're
because
saying
there's
go
nowhere else
play
to go.
against less talent. They're not going to win because you're going to go play against less talent. But let's just stay in a conference that we can't win in and not make any money. I mean, it's just dumb to me. It just doesn't make any sense. Let's just stay there. But we're going to make.
That's
a lot of money
tradition.
because
You
we're
don't
in
leave.
SEC.
You don't. Arkansas.
They moved out.
Arkansas will be the laughing stock of the entire world if they left because they can't win in the SEC.
I mean,
Where are they going
you
to
got
go?
to admit it one day.
Where they? I mean, everything comes in trends. I mean, they were good a while, then they were good a couple of years. Good for Arkansas football. I mean,
Just to clarify,
there's just nobody coming out of Arkansas for them to get.
2011 was
If
their
they
best
come to
season.
Texas, they're getting like the 4th and 5th, 6th option,
Right.
probably on average. So those other players are going to Texas, A&M,
Exactly.
probably TCU and Baylor before they even.
But-
I bet you SMU has a better chance of landing a top player than Arkansas does.
I agree, but just think if you're an Arkansas, you're a top prospect coming out of Arkansas, and let's say they're in the Big 12 and they're actually winning.
But they're not going to
I'm
win
going
in
to
the
go
Big
there
12.
and play versus I'm not going to go there and play right now. Even though I'll be in the SEC, I'm not going to win any games. That's why
He's not going to win. They're not going to win in the Big 12. Every time this bowl
They'd
season
win a
comes
lot more
around, you're like,
games.
oh, SEC. They play a Big 12
be a
team.
bowl. They'd
It's
make it
either
to
a
a bowl
close
game.
game. I'd bet you the winning percentage is 50.
I used to make that
They would
argument
make it to a
too
bowl
until they
game.
lost to San Diego
They wouldn't
State,
win
which
no
lost to
championship, but they'd make bowl
UCA.
game.
They paid San Diego State $1 million to come beat them.
See, in the
Arkansas gets paid to go play places now, Brandon. that in
athletes are
mind. They are
wanting
that
to
school now.
get to the league as quick as possible. They're not trying to stay at a college and rebuild and stay the whole 4 years and be able to make a dynasty anymore.
All
They
right,
wanna
Brandon,
get in and out.
give me an argument why Landon Jackson and Marcus Burris should go to University of Arkansas right now, off the top of your
Right
head.
now, that's what I was just telling you. Nobody wants to go there because they can't win. Even though they're in the SEC, I'll be an SEC player. If I go to Arkansas, I'll be in the SEC. But I'm not going to win any games.
But my point
Why
being
go
is,
there?
if a player has options, Arkansas is not going to get a player
I'm
that
not
can
talking
compete
about
at a high level. Like, I'm not saying the players can't, but as a team, they can't compete with an A&M. They can't compete with a Texas.
Exactly.
They can't compete with an
I'm
Oklahoma.
not talking about a top
They need to-
country prospect. I'm talking about an Arkansas prospect.
The Arkansas prospects aren't even going to Arkansas.
That's what I'm saying. If they were winning, they would get them. Since they're in SEC and they're losing, they're not going to get them. It's simple.
I can see it from both sides, but then again, let's say they do move conferences and do, show out. They're still going to face that SEC team at the end, let's say in the playoffs, and then just get creamed
You
again.
made a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You made a bowl
Yeah,
game.
the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl.
Regardless who you play and you lose, you made a bowl game.
We need to have a Texarkana Game Day bowl game.
Yeah.
Wonder what it would cost.
Arkansas will be available.
How about that dude that?
$1,000.
How about that guy that? God, what did he do? He was going to have a bowl game, and ESPN came out and did this whole thing, and come to find out, he didn't even have a business or anything. Did y'all see that? It was in like Arizona or something.
I don't know what you're
Did
talking
This
about.
guy was going to sponsor a bowl game, and ESPN did all this promotion for it. Well, come to find out, it was fraudulent. He did it as like a joke, and the building they went and took pictures at was just an old abandoned building, but they never actually went inside, and it was just. So
Wow.
you have to Google it. I wish that's hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, it's doing a
I
little
didn't see
extra
that.
right there. Well, I mean, since we're on college football, what do you think Texas is going to look like next year?
I think they're going to be good. I mean, they're not really losing a whole lot. I think they lost a couple of defensive players. And they'll be good. I mean, the Big 12's down, so they have to be good. I mean, they have to compete.
If one of our all right, so we got some big name players coming out of Texarkana next year. Okay,
I'm gonna stop you for 1 second. First game of the year is on the road in Death Valley, LSU. They're going
Second game.
second
game.
first actual game. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't know
yeah.
if they're playing first. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's,
without Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And they competed against them last
and
year.
it doesn't matter.
Don't forget about that.
So same as it always goes. Lots of hype. This is our year. End up losing 3 of the first 7 games. Go to the San Diego Poinsettia Bowl. Whatever. All is well,
Hey,
right?
we're going to bowl games, though.
That's right.
Texas could lose their basketball coach and their football coach next year. Like Shaka Smart is on the hot table.
I'd be fine with him going. I mean, he's not doing any better than Barnes did to me.
I don't know how he's winning. He was winning with the Spiders or whatever they were.
The conference he was playing in, BCU.
I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with conference. He was winning going to the Final Four. That has nothing to do with his
Yeah,
conference.
Yes, you're right.
So, I mean, how you would think at Texas, how's he struggling down there?
I don't know. I don't think he's recruiting even as good as Barnes
OU's
was.
been a lot better. Baylor's been a lot better. The cast that they used to play against, have now stepped their game up and get bigger recruits, and it's just more of a even playing field. There's not all the stars at one spot anymore. My take.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need Kevin Durant 2.0 to show up.
There's a bunch of people that could show up. They just aren't there, unfortunately.
Yeah, no joke. What you got, Bobby?
What's going on locally this week in Texarkana?
Man, there's a baseball tournament going on at Texas High. There's a softball tournament going on in Ashdown. Those will both be Friday, Saturdays. The Texas High tournament was supposed to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's too moist out there. They don't want to run the field with a bunch of teams. So that'll start tomorrow, I think, around 11:30. Tonight, there's a track meet. Actually, it's going on all day. It starts at 12:30 at Texas High. We have a bunch of local talent there. We'll have some of the Game Day crew out there getting film and seeing all what's going on.
I've never heard anyone use the word moist to describe the ground. Just that caught me off guard.
Wow.
Wet, maybe? Soft?
Anyway, I got a bigger
wet?
vocabulary than you.
Yeah. I like it.
All right, hey, real quick though. All right, so we got some of the top players in the entire country right here in Texarkana playing football. You got Clayton Smith over at Texas High. He's ranked top 20 in the state of Texas. You have Marcus Burris, ranked top 10 in the state of Texas. Landon Jackson, the number 1 player in the state of Texas, coming out next year. He's top 10 nationally. Nick Martin's a top 50 player. Torrey Phillips is a top 75 player, I believe. All these players are ranked nationally. Give me the best 3 landing spots for defensive ends. If you were these guys, where would you recommend they take a strong look at?
Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, Notre Dame did just have the best combine out of the whole NFL this upcoming combine.
Why would you tell them to go to those 3 schools?
A lot of exposure they've done. They've got a great history. Great coaching staff. And they produce. They not only at the collegiate level, but they produce great NFL prospects and players.
I think.
I was about to say Florida State just churns out past edge guys big time.
Clayton's been offered. I mean, I'm sure all these players have. But Clayton Smith, I know for sure, has been offered by FSU. I think the only landing spots for these guys, and keep in mind they've been offered by everybody. They can literally go anywhere they want to go. If these were my kids, I would recommend LSU because Clayton, Landon, and Burris they're all going to be defensive ends. I think at the next level. Marcus may be a tight end. But LSU, it seems like you walk in there 6'5", 250, and you leave 6'9", 310, and run a 4.5.
And to leave a millionaire.
Yes.
Multi-millionaire. Now's a good time to plug Arkansas, Hop over there and go play from day one.
Especially
I think my next I'm just thinking somewhat close because we know you can go Ohio State. It's going to be a great program for these guys. Alabama's going to be a great program, but I would think LSU. My second option would be A&M, and probably third option Texas if we're staying here regionally. That's where I would think all these guys are probably going to end up.
If I was one of these guys, I'd prefer a Big 12 school simply because you've got more opportunities to get after the passer. Yeah. I mean, it's a different kind of football here, right?
And they have, these. I know Landon and Marcus are on specific kinds of diet. Man, they're looking to get ripped up before next season. Be bigger and faster. That's all they need at the 4A level.
It's not really fair.
No, it's already not fair. They're going to have the best defensive line at Pleasant Grove in the entire country next year. And that's a statement. Find me a better defensive line. They're going to have 2 top 10 in the entire nation defensive ends on the same football team. Oh, hey, and the defensive tackles are nationally ranked as well. And then, hey, if you happen to get past them, you have Nick Martin waiting on you, and that's a problem.
Just sign the whole squad.
Nick Martin's going to be bored next year.
Yeah. Clayton Smith over at Texas High. I like this kid. He's tall, lean, fast. He actually runs the last leg on the 4x1. You'll see at the track meet. Super athlete, great kid. I'm gonna be really excited to see where he decides to go because it looks like I think he's picked up like 25 Division I offers just this offseason. But we'll see. I think he's a beach guy, so he might end up in Florida.
Uh-oh.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know that for a fact.
I think you meant California.
Well, I think the East Coast is recruiting him really, really hard. I hadn't seen any West Coast schools really come in, other than I think Washington offered him.
Gotcha.
Bobby, what's been going on in in the game day world?
Oh, we've got the softball going on now. Since basketball just ended and local schools, unfortunately, are out of the big tournament, we're going to be covering baseball really hard this season, along with softball for the ladies.
Oh, you went and saw LE play softball.
Yeah,
Tell me
went
about
and saw LE, did some coverage. Real solid team. Met the coach, Miss Middlebrooks. Her husband, Will Middlebrooks. Everyone's familiar with him.
That's her brother.
Husband. Yeah, brother.
Yep. Another pretty salty team.
Yeah.
They won big, didn't they?
Very solid. Yeah, they won 12-2, 10-run, rolled them in the sixth.
And
so
the pitcher was
exciting to
amazing.
see. Yeah.
Speaking of pitchers, Arkansas High has two. One of the players is going to Ole Miss. The other one, Brother Bishop, is going to University of Arkansas to play baseball. Both pitchers.
Really?
Yeah. And they can ball.
Yeah, that's one thing you can stick your chest out if you're proud about Arkansas. Is their baseball is usually always pretty sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
if you've got two D1 starting pitchers on one high school team, you're not going to lose a whole lot of baseball games.
No. And both of them, I think Breland hit a home run the other night, too.
Oh.
So he's as good on offensive end, too.
What was it? 2 years ago, Arkansas was a foul ball catch away from winning the College World Series.
That just sums up Arkansas, man.
You know that player no
Just sums
longer
it up.
plays anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they do have they have a great
They
track
need to
team and
focus on
baseball
that,
team.
not focus on football.
Well,
They put all their money towards that.
yeah, man. I don't know. I'm not an Arkansas fan. I'm just not crazy about it like some of these other people are.
Yeah.
Anyways, you got anything else?
I don't, unless you want to talk about baseball or golf.
I'll
I
pass. Actually, let's talk about golf real quick. I beat Frank 4 times in a row.
Oh God.
Wow.
4 times in a row, and the third time we played, I found out the second time we played he cheated. I found his golf ball that he said he hit somewhere
Just so we're
else.
clear, the reason this is news is because he's literally never beaten me before.
Oh, get outta here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey,
The
I'm on
reason why this
I'm
is
on
so
what you
big.
call a winning streak, Bobby.
That's right. It's going to end at some point this weekend, I promise.
At some point, we're playing like the next 3 days. I guarantee you.
Yeah, he's probably.
I'm
Might have
going to
some
walk back
coverage
in
at
here
Alpha
He's
Seven.
bad right now. What do you want me to
7-0.
do? These East Texas dirt got me twisted.
Whatever. Brandon, what you got?
We can go back to the NBA. Last night, Luka and Zion played for the first time together. What do y'all think about Luka? You think he can be better than Zion? What do you
I
think?
think he's already better than Zion. I don't think Zion's going to have a long career. I mean, I think he'll stay in the NBA for a long time, but I don't think. I mean, he's going to be one of the most exciting players ever.
Yeah.
But I think in playoff basketball, when people don't olay you and let you run right, because I know you're about to dunk and move out of your way, come playoff time when they aren't doing that, Zion's probably points are going to be cut in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's going to work, he's got Lonzo, who's a great ball, distributor. So he is in the perfect situation. A lot he has to work on as far as actual basketball skill and post moves, but as far as dunking and jumping, yeah, he's got that taken care of.
Yeah, Luka, I'd take Luka hands down.
Yeah. Zion's in a good spot. He doesn't have to be the alpha on the team. Brandon
Right.
Ingram's by far the best player on that basketball team. Having him there to handle up on the offensive board side of things and play defense. And like Morgan said, I don't know how long his career is going to be. He's got a tough body to manage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a big
285
big kid.
man.
Well, the rumors are right now he's over 300 pounds,
Yeah.
and that's coming from a Pelicans employee.
With
that-
that
that he's-
45-inch vertical.
It's crazy. As much as those guys are running up and down the court, that he can even be that big. I mean, that's all they do is run.
It's at Louisiana cooking down there.
Oh, I know. I might have told Brandon when he got drafted there that is the worst possible place for Zion to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to seen. Well, I would say Nick, but I don't wish that on anybody at this point. That Dolan has to be the worst owner of anything ever.
Close. Well, there's been some
So,
really,
yeah.
really
The
bad
Knicks
ones, but-
owner?
How about the
Yeah.
Knicks?
Yeah.
How about the Knicks right now? Does the NBA need to step in and take over, fix that?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard
getting
to do something when you own it.
Right.
It's
kind of like
The NBA works for James Dolan. He doesn't
Right.
work for them. So
But once it's a brand, just like the Clippers guy when he.
Well, it was
said some
different with the
wild stuff
Clippers
that
guy.
run the
That's
brand.
racial.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
again, it's a brand thing. At this point, if none of your players want to play in New York, if none of your fans want to go to the games,
Right.
if like the biggest names in the city refuse to be there, at some point they're going to have to
But
make.
if we honestly look back,
this is
the
bad for
Knicks
the
have
brand.
never. They had Ewing, and those were their best of years, but they still didn't never win.
Well, it's not their fault they played Michael Jordan every
Yeah.
champion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Kinda
It
like
is what it
people
is. Those
playing
teams
LeBron,
were
the
fun.
GOAT.
Charles Oakley and John Starks and Derek Harper. I mean, they were really and Ewing. They were really, really good basketball teams. They just happened to run up against the best collection of talent anybody's ever seen.
yeah.
until now.
Producer Aaron, what do you got? Empty. You don't have nothing for us? All right, we're gonna call this a day then. Thank you for watching. Until next time, we are out of here.